welcome back to the Great Ojibwe Baking Show. It's summer 2021, and oh, what a summer it has been. First of all, my team, the Milwaukee Bucks, won our first NBA championship in 50 years. Go Bucks, go. Very exciting. I got an A in my summer grad school class, which is great. I don't know, my doctor thinks maybe it was a kidney infection or something. Gonna be just fine, but very painful. It's been a wild ride. But today is the first day of August, and August means zucchini season. I personally love zucchini. My dad is a little ambivalent about it, I think. My dad is a gardener, so am I. And when I was a kid, one summer, his zucchini patch grew like way out of control. And we had all of these huge zucchinis, which if you garden, you know is something that happens if you fucking, miss one and you don't pick it and you let it keep growing and growing. It just gets like really big. So his zucchinis grew way out of control, and he had what my family calls Dad's zucchini dream. He had a nightmare that he was out in the garden with his lawnmower trying to like mow down the zucchinis, and every time that he would cut them, they would grow back more and stronger until the entire yard was being overtaken by zucchinis. To me, that's not necessarily a problem because zucchini is fucking delicious. You can eat it in a lot of savory ways, but you can also bake with it. So today we're going to make some zucchini chocolate chip cookies. So to start with, I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. Here I have 2 cups of rolled oats. That's just like your regular oatmeal cereal. A cup of flour. I also have a half teaspoon of baking soda. That was a little scant, so I'm going to throw a little bit more in there. A half teaspoon of salt. That overflowed a little bit, but it's no big deal. And some cinnamon, and I'm just going to give it a few really nice, big, good shakes. Whisk it all together. And set that aside. Next, we're going to start mixing up our wet ingredients. You can see I've got in here a stick of butter softened to room temperature. To that, I've added a half cup of white sugar and a half cup of brown sugar, and I'm going to cream them together with my mixer, which is pretty standard for cookie recipes. You can see my butter and sugar is nice and fluffy, and actually, these cookies are relatively healthy because when you think about it, 1 stick of butter is not that much butter compared to a lot of cookie recipes. Anyway, got that nice and fluffy. I'm gonna add an egg. I'm gonna add about a half tablespoon of vanilla extract. And I'm gonna add a tablespoon of pure maple syrup. And when you use this, you don't wanna use like the Aunt Jemima's stuff. You wanna use like the real Anishinaabe maple syrup. If you do not have access to that, you can sub honey or molasses, or you can just leave it out. But I got all that in here. Time to mix again. So now I've mixed everything together. I've got my wet mix really nice and fluffy, and I'm gonna add about a cup of grated zucchini. And I drained this zucchini before I added it. If you don't do that, you're gonna have way too much moisture. So all I did was I grated it, and then I put the grated zucchini in a couple layers of paper towel and gave it a nice big squeeze over the sink. You don't need to get all of the moisture out, but you don't want to leave all of the zucchini's moisture in, or you're not going to get what you want from these cookies. Now I'm going to mix this together too. Got the zucchini all mixed in, so now I'm going back to my dry mix that we mixed together at the beginning of the show. I'm just gonna dump all this in here and once again, mix, mix, mix. Dry ingredients are all mixed in. Now I'm dumping in a bag of chocolate chips. You could mix this up with your stand mixer. I'm using a spoon because honestly this dough is not that stiff, so it's pretty easy. Also, to be really honest, my with the hand mixer, you could use a stand mixer too, but to me this recipe is not big enough to bother pulling that out. Anyway, my hand mixer is on its last legs. It seems like it's gonna die pretty soon. So I'm just mixing it in with a spoon because it's real easy. Got that nice and mixed together. I added chocolate chips. If you want, you could add other stuff. You could add a different kind of chip. You could add nuts. You could add raisins, whatever you want. But my dough is good to go, so I'm gonna pop a cover on this and throw it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. I refrigerated my dough for 2 hours, like I said, and then I baked my cookies at 350 for between 13 and 14 minutes a sheet. So let's see how we did. That's a good cookie, you guys. It's moist, a little bit cakey with crispy edges, and it's full of vegetables, so not only is it delicious, it's pretty healthy for you as far as cookies go. So I highly recommend make these zucchini cookies, and we'll see you next time on the Great Ojibwe Baking Show. Kiko up a minute.
I got nowhere to go, to hang out on the street. My folks say I got no ambition, and at least I give a shit about the stuff I eat.